This is Chipotle Sofrita. It's a blend of peppers, onions, and tomatoes mixed with crumbled soft tofu. It's Chipotle's plant-based protein option, and in my opinion, it's not that bad, but really it's not that great, and I think they could have made it better. It's more like adding an extra salsa. So I thought I could fix that using chickpeas. I wanted to make a soft chickpea meat and a stronger, thicker sofrita sauce to give it a bit more kick and better mouthfeel. So let me show you how. First, we need 1 can of chickpeas. I'm going to drain it and wash the chickpeas, then toss them right into a blender with about 2 cups of water. I'm going to also add some garlic powder, a shake of smoked paprika, and a teaspoon of one of my new favorite ingredients, yeast extract powder, which is not MSG, no matter what you've heard. This is going to make it a little bit more savory tasting. Now I'm just going to give this a blend, and it should be a pretty thin consistency without any chunks. Now we're going to be making something that's almost like a Burmese tofu, which is just like a chickpea tofu. I'm going to start by adding 1 cup of chickpea flour and blend. I'm going to be checking the consistency right here for kind of like a light pancake batter kind of consistency, and I ended up adding an extra 1/4 cup of chickpea flour to get it to the consistency that I was looking for. Now over on the stove I have a large wide nonstick skillet over a medium heat, and I'm just going to pour this mixture right in. Normally you would want to watch this and continue stirring to make sure it doesn't stick or burn, but honestly I completely forgot, started listening to music and doing the dishes. But when I finally realized and came back, it was still okay. I might have burnt the bottom a bit, so I'm just going to be gently stirring this so I don't mix that bottom crusty bit into the mixture. I don't want any of that. I ended up pulling out a whisk just to try to keep it as smooth as I can get it. After about 15 minutes and lowering the heat, I got it to a nice thick density that was maybe thicker than hummus, thinner than a dough ball, but it had like a stretch and density kind of feeling to it. I'm going to pour this mixture into a glass container that I ended up oiling up a little bit, and again avoiding that burnt pancake-like cracker that I created by forgetting about it, which was actually a nice surprising little snack in the end while I waited for this to cool down in the fridge for about an hour, and I'm pretty thirsty right now, so this is plenty of time for me to tell you about Stir, today's sponsor.
Stir is a water enhancer that is all natural and made with real fruit. And it's really good. I mean, like really good. Now that I'm running and doing hot yoga, I've been trying to find every way possible to drink more water, and Stir has really helped. During the day around lunch when I would commonly drink a soda, I've just been adding 2 squeezes of Stir into a glass of water or soda water, and I give it a mix. And boom, I've got a 0 calorie, 0 sugar, and super tasty boost of hydration. And they contain vitamin C, and it's a great source of antioxidants. They sent me 12 of their unique flavors, which are all really good, but really my favorites are the coconut pineapple and the tropical punch. They've been my favorites. So gang, tap the link in the description below and use my code SAUCE25 to get 25% off your Stir order today. I'm telling you, you're gonna love these. They are so good.
Okay, we're back. So while we're waiting for the chickpeas to firm up, let's go ahead and get our sofrita sauce made. First, we're gonna be using a poblano pepper. You can use a green bell pepper or really any pepper you like. This is going to be the difference between heatness and sweetness. But either way, I'm going to roast and blister the skin on this pepper. You can do this in the oven, over a stovetop, or like me, use a blowtorch. Once it's completely blistered and the skin is nice and charred, I'm going to toss this into a bag, seal it up, and let it steam, which is going to make removing the skin a heck of a lot easier. While it's steaming, I'm going to chop up a half of a yellow onion and toss it in a well-oiled skillet over a medium-high heat. Then prep about 4 or 5 cloves of garlic, and once the onion is nicely sauteed, I'm going to add in the garlic and get that browning as well. Now, I had some issues with this camera from this point on in, so some of the footage is missing, so bear with me, I'm doing my best. But a few moments before this was done, I cracked in some fresh black pepper just to kind of allow the black pepper to kind of cook for a little less than a minute. Then I'm going to bring this whole thing over to a blender and toss it in. Then I'm going to add 2 plum tomatoes. I'm going to wipe the skin away from the pepper and remove the stem and most of the seeds and toss that in, along with a 1/3 cup of tomato paste, 3 to 4 chipotle peppers, and a teaspoon of the adobo sauce from those peppers, 2 teaspoons of cumin, 2 teaspoons of oregano, 1 teaspoon chili powder, and 2 teaspoons red wine vinegar. Now I'm going to add in about 3/4 cup of water and blend. And this is our sauce. You can give it a taste for seasoning if you like, but I'm just going to set this aside. Now our chickpeas, they firmed up. I do wish I would have let them go overnight, but you know, hey, it's still going to work. So I'm going to chop this up into small chunks. I'm being careful because it's still pretty soft, and I'm going to toss them onto a lined baking sheet. Now I have the oven preheated for 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm just going to toss these in for about 30 or 45 minutes, or pretty much until they get nice and crispy on the outside, like this. At this point, we're pretty much done. We just need to toss these back into a large pan or a skillet, cover them with the sauce, bring the heat up to allow these to warm up, and we're only adding enough for like good coverage. Now, I'm gonna add a little bit of water to kind of thin this down, get it into that Sofritas kind of consistency. It was only a little over 1/4 of a cup. Now, I'm gonna let these cook together for just a few minutes while I prep our bowls, which is just dividing up one basic veggie bowl from Chipotle. I'm gonna add the appropriate amount of guac for what Monica likes versus what I like. I'm gonna add my Sofritas into the bowl just off to the side. And now let's see what Monica has to say. But first, let's hear her thoughts on the original Sofritas.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
A little watery.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of consistency to it.
It's got the like a kind of like a bitter aftertaste. I don't know.
Like a bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't even really taste it that much. Like, it just gives it a little bit more of like a flavor to it.
Yeah.
Almost like a seasoning.
It always disappoints me. It's like a salsa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't have like there's no like
a density to
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's not even really enough flavor to like add anything. So okay, so now just get a little scoop, try to get everything in. Okay, cheers.
Now that tastes like definitely got a bite of something like tofu, meat, protein.
Yeah, it tastes like you have like there's an element to it.
Yeah, exactly. It tastes like it's part of the meal.
Yeah.
And it flavors it really nicely, complements it really nicely.
So what's your you don't really get Sofritos, do you?
I do sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't get the Sofritos. It kind of drives me a little nuts. But like I almost wish they made the Sofritos with like a firm tofu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just not as good.
And a little spicier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think there's enough of a kick to it, really.
Yeah, this has a great kick to it.
It's not like I wasn't going for meat with this one. I was just going for more than the tofu than you get there.
That's what I'm getting.
Mm-hmm.
But not even like it's not like it's like, oh, that's an extra bean or that's it tastes like it is a meat replacement.
It's not a bean. Mm-hmm. That's exactly. Oh, that was a good call, baby. Mm-hmm. Good. Like that's what I was kind of hoping for. Mm-hmm. If this was the thing that I was going for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, delicious.
If you like the Sofritos, you're gonna love this. Like that's the whole deal.
This would be good topped on anything.
It really would. And I know there was like a lot of steps, but it was a very easy recipe. There's not like a lot involved. Then there's a lot left over too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Well, there we go, baby.
Very good.
This is dinner.
All right.
Let's roll. Yeah, that's awesome, right?